Please welcome now to the Imus Morning program, Father Jonathan Morris. Good morning, Father Morris.
You just said
Father
things.
Jonathan.
You just said things on the air I didn't think you were even allowed to say in the air. But good morning.
Morning.
What did
morning.
I say? What?
Nothing.
Well, what did I say that I'm not allowed to say?
I'm not going to repeat it.
Being like butt boy?
Yeah.
Apparently.
You're allowed
What's
to, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's nothing. I mean,
That's
compared
nothing?
to- no.
Well,
right.
no. What is that? What?
I don't know.
Does that bother you?
Just surprised.
What was the matter with you the other
Good morning.
day? Couldn't come to work. I couldn't come appear on the
Yesterday?
program.
I have a cold. It was a head cold. It's
how are you
better.
now?
Better. Thank you.
What happens when you do that? Do you pray to get better?
No.
You pray.
Interesting. I don't.
You know, when you
I
pray,
think-
do you ask for stuff or do you pray for other people?
I very, very rarely ask for things, but if it were serious, I would. But I think I would feel like I was wasting spiritual energy to say, God, please take away this cold,
Right.
or that God would take me less seriously when I have to ask for serious things.
Right.
Maybe that's not good theology, but that's how I would look at it. I guess that's how I live it.
Do you know a lot of people, what they do is, and I'm one, oh, no, I don't know if I do that or not. But people do, and maybe I have done, try to make deals with God, say,
I've done that.
do you have you?
Yeah, I have.
Tell me.
I'm trying to remember the last one, but when you really need something,
Yeah,
and then you recognize there's something in your life you need to change.
sure.
I think it's a very natural thing. If you have a relationship, a friendship with God, to say, hey, just like you would with a friend, I really need this. And if you help me get through this, I promise you whatever it is. I think it's a good sign. It means that we
Yeah.
actually believe in a
yeah.
God who cares about us, and that we also have obligations, responsibilities toward Him and towards others.
I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about Jesus and about the Gospels and about which are obviously in the New Testament. So. And they were intellectualizing the existence of Jesus and some of the tricks he did. Well, not tricks. I'm saying fixing up the lepers and all that.
Okay.
And I said, you can't read any part of the Bible if you don't have some faith. I mean, it sounds idiotic to say that, but that fundamental to all of that, to reading the Bible, is faith. Because if you read it and like a Doug Brinkley book, and are trying to determine whether apply a literal interpretation to these things, these events, you're going to come up short. So
Fair enough, but I do like to argue with you, so I'll take a contrarian point here.
Tell me.
You don't have to have faith to believe that Jesus of Nazareth existed.
right.
And that's an important point. Because people say, that Jesus stuff, that's not true. Well, actually, there was a man named Jesus of Nazareth who existed.
Right.
Bill O'Reilly's book and movie talked about that kind of intellectual,
And I discussed
journalistic
that, yes.
point that Jesus existed and he was crucified and he preached what he preached. Now, you have to have faith to believe that the miracles weren't just tricks,
Right,
as you referred to them as. That
Well,
it was more than tricks. It was an action.
That's pretty good, bringing somebody back from the dead. That's a pretty good trick.
Right. If
Don't
it
you
were a
think?
trick, it would be
I
a
don't
very,
mean to
very
be-
good one. But
I'm not employing that word in a pejorative or disparaging way, but I mean,
well, it sounds a little disparaging because we don't believe they're tricks.
Why
It's
are you being
try-
a jerk this morning?
Like for example, Don, talk about a trick. How about raising yourself from the dead after being crucified? Now that would be a trick. And that's why we believe that it wasn't a trick, that it was a miracle, which means an intervention of God that overcomes the natural laws that otherwise would be in place.
Do you think Jesus literally walked on water?
I don't know for sure.
I didn't ask you if you knew. I asked you if you believe that he did.
Yes,
You do.
I do. But it doesn't, I don't think you have to have a literal interpretation of everything in the Bible. And I'm sure people are going to yell and scream at me on Twitter and Facebook since I said I don't know for sure.
What do you stop? First of all, Start living your life and stop worrying about what people think on
minute.
Twitter and Facebook. Who the hell cares? Nobody cares. Stop it.
You know why I care?
You
Because
don't worry about what Jesus cares about.
That is true.
Not what some mouth-breathing idiot cares on Twitter or Facebook. Stop it.
wait, hold on.
didn't mean
You know
to
what?
be hollow.
That is,
No.
I love that because we should care mostly what Jesus thinks.
Yes.
But they are people too. People
are people
who
too?
live on Facebook and Twitter, I don't know,
They're
they are
idiots.
They are people too.
They are
I have a-
soulless, mouth-breathing morons. What are you, nuts? And you're worried about what they think?
You know, I worry about what they think because they're people too. And I look at them as part of my flock.
You really are a
His flock.
Yeah, they're
hey,
like
I got
sheep.
your
They're
flock.
like they're like digital
Let's
sheep.
go down that road with a sheep here now.
Okay.
Did you see O'Reilly? Did you see the movie?
I did.
What do you think?
I thought it was good. It's not how I would have done it, but I think it added something to the discussion.
What do you mean? Not how you would have done it.
Well,
how would you have done it?
I would have done it in showing the divinity of Jesus as well. And I think Bill made a choice, and I think it's a very valid choice, to focus on Jesus of Nazareth from a purely journalistic standpoint. And I think that adds something important to the conversation. But does it tell the whole story? No. And that's why I would have done it differently.
Okay. Well, sorry, them sour grapes here, but well, I'm happy you're feeling better.
Thank you. It's good to be with you. People always say, I think it's because they like to watch train wrecks or something like that, but they love when you do the interviews because you are unafraid to ask spiritual questions that others don't ask, either don't think of or are afraid to ask.
Get out of my studio now.
Yes.
Hey,
There we go.
Or we'll have you removed by security.
God forgive you.
There you go.
Father Jonathan Boris here on the Iverson Warren program.
Thanks, Dan.